go. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling, blow, ooh, she's on skateboard P. Bling, blow, ooh, she's on skateboard P.
Hi everybody! Welcome back. Just chilling in my Zen room right now. Just on this big Snorlax pillow. Yeah, this is mostly where I do my deity is, there's 5 shrines. And that's where I do all of my offerings and everything in here. It's my Zen room. It's got all of my little nooks and crannies. If you just see that in the background, it's fine. And yeah, and behind me is another art studio place where I like to do my art. But yeah, today I just wanted to go right into another video for this week. This time I want to be doing a familiar video and how to get one either in your house, or it can be one that's like out there, you can't see it type of thing. But yeah, I'll get into detail all about that afterwards. Yeah, so I haven't done the familiar thing yet. I got Cinder here with me. She's just over here. Come here, Cinder. Come here, Cinder. Cinder, come here. Jump. Come here. Get up here. I won't grab your armpits. Come here. She doesn't like... Cinder doesn't like to be grabbed by the armpits. So a lot of people think maybe like, okay, so she's a dog. And they know I have a cat. Maybe you do. One of the only ways you can tell that if an animal in your household is going to be your familiar, I'll get into the other stuff and how you can find them if you didn't have a pet or anything like that, but first off, you can't really force a dog or cat or any, I was gonna get a rat at some point, into being familiars. You can, there's like a bit of a debate going on. There's like either if you can have one familiar or just 2 of them, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, I like the idea of being able to get more familiars. It just kind of depends on like your spiritual journey. Like sometimes the animal will be around for a long time and they're just trying to teach you a lesson. But if they start to show interest in your work and they start coming around when you're doing your witch spells, a lot of people talk about tarot cards and stuff, like when they're just doing tarot card readings, which I haven't tried yet, but I really want to. With I know Yoshi would be good at that. Just steps over everything. So, or not good, but yeah, I want to try the tarot card. Maybe that's a good way to tell if they are gonna be like familiar magic folk. But yeah, it's just something they do. They get kind of curious when you're just, say you're working at your altar, you're giving blessings, or you're playing with your crystals, you're using some of them for magic, they'll be around sniffing them. Yeah, it's just like the little, all those spells you do. If they just come up to you when you're meditating, they come lay on your lap. There's also another theory that saying forcing one of your animals or any kind of animal to be your familiar is wrong, because the whole origin about it is that familiars are actually spiritual beings and they take over the, you know, bodies of animals and stuff. So to actually like get a familiar, they say you'd have to call upon another spiritual higher power to get like into your animal's body. It's not just something they all have, so it's kind of like, this is a process, like a very, I want to say safe process that we're going to be doing. I'm not going to like put any pressure on my girl or anything, but yeah, a lot of people could say that they, back in the day, they thought they were like demons. That's what they called it back in the old books and testaments and shit. So don't force your animals into any familiar or witchcraft kind of work. Sometimes they just are overworked with it. Sometimes they don't want to be a part of the spell. Let's say you have a summoning circle and your cat keeps wandering out of the circle and you're getting a little frustrated and you want it to come back in. Just let it be, you know. It could even bring bad luck back onto you. But yeah, I just kind of went through and got a bunch of research offline about a bunch of spells. I just kind of took some ones that seem legit. You might have seen them before. I just kind of wanted to do this and go through with it and do my own little spell. But yeah, and then there's another one at the end where you can start giving them like offerings and stuff like that and asking them to do things. Yeah, but all you need is a white candle, some paper, I already drew on it, and a pen, or pencil to draw. All it asks you to do is you draw up a picture of your familiar or your pet on a piece of paper. There's the picture I drew of Cinder. That's her more scruffy days. And then anyways, on the other sides, you put their Monday name. You can do this spell at the very beginning of the month, but I don't want to wait that long, and then you can wait till the other end of the month. Which I'll explain after. And then on the other side is their like spiritual name, or what you want to call them in witchcraft. So I chose Clydesdale, or short, just Clyde. It kind of just popped into my mind. They say to just like whatever like instinctually like comes to your mind, like that might be the one that's like for them or whatever, and that was the name I was gonna call her when I was first getting her, so I thought that'd be a good one. But yeah, you're not really supposed to use that name anywhere else except when you're doing spiritual practice and everything. But yeah, you don't call their names for that, and it's kind of like a secret thing. Or what some other people prefer to do is wait for like a full moon, or when their moon is in their favorite crest or something, or it's changing, because it just changes some things about that. I don't know too much about that, but yeah, and then you just wait until the end of the month, or 2 months. You keep this little note. Before you put anything else in here, it's good to cleanse it out with like sage, or I just used salt water, and I just kind of like lightly cleaned everything out. It was already kind of new, but just keeps it like nice and cleansed. And then you put it in there. I put a few other things in here that just kind of represent her. So I got like this coal dust, I don't know, kind of reminds me of Cinder. Yeah, so then she's got a little bone in here. She likes to chew on stuff a lot, so I thought that was kind of meaningful. I was hoping to find something a little nicer to put in, but that's the best I could do. And then I got a little necklace, a lock necklace, and I printed off a little photo of her, and yeah, she's just in there. So I'm gonna put it in here, and then when I'm doing like rituals or asking for things, like kind of stuff you do with deities and stuff, I just put it in here, and whenever I just want her protection or her with me when I'm somewhere else and I need help with something, or I just want her to tag along, I just put that on. Okay, so you put it in the box and you leave it there for 2 months, and then on the second month, you grab your white candle, and it's supposed to represent, I don't know, I think white candles are usually just like a safe bet for most candles to use, but it was told to use a white candle. And then you burn the photo. Sorry if it's a masterpiece, not mine, but like the one you draw up. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, but hopefully you didn't put too much work into it. Yeah, you burn it at the end of 2 months, and what's that supposed to do is through those 2 months, the bond is just supposed to grow. You put it behind or beside your altar or whatever, and whenever you want to do like an offering, or just like something you want from like your familiar, you write a little note on a piece of paper, which I don't have right now. And then you just you put it in the box, and it can't be anything like too far off, too unrealistic. Like you can't ask for $1 million, but yeah, it just can't be anything really physical. Like you can get like a lot of things like mentally, like emotionally and stuff like that. Like if they really love you, if they respect you, and it's been a long time since you guys have been working together, it should over time. And I'll explain all this in my little ritual rundown in the next little part here. Okay, so what's the difference between a summoned familiar and a spiritual guide? Well, a spiritual guide, you can actually pick it out. It kind of like is a calling for you. It walks you through life. It still has magic in it. It's just that magic is like not for you to be worked with. It's more for you to learn from. So as a familiar, they're having to work for you, and they are actually spiritual beings. But the only way, you can't pick out summoned familiar. Well, you can summon them, but it will take some time. They don't always want to work with you. So the best kind of method is just kind of let them come to you. I don't really want like a familiar that would be forced into it. All beings are powerful, like I said, and I think just because you have a visualized of what kind of animal or creature that you want, the best method I've heard is usually through dream work. Just lots of paying attention throughout your dreams. You can enhance your dreams with certain effects. I've tried like putting herbs under my bed to like lucid dream, and then you could like go off and try find it. It's just kind of like something that you see reoccurring like in your dreams, I think, a lot of the time. It can happen in meditation, or a lot of the times people just kind of run into them, a lot. Like it could even be a bug. Well, there's bugs everywhere, so a lot of people are just bugged by them. But yeah, every creature is amazing, and if you start seeing like, say, like a deer that comes up to you all the time, and without you having to feed it like something, you're just trying not to manipulate it into becoming their familiar, something that actually happens on their own will of wanting to become their familiar, because sometimes they say they know. So yeah, it's just a lot of manifestation, I think, at that point. Make sure to feed a non-physical familiar, like just on the full moons, for gifts and treats like that. I usually just do that for my deities though. And if they're there physically, just make sure to praise them, just give them lots of love, give them that extra love and care. And they should follow you around and be very loyal to you, which my dog already is, but that's why she was really chosen for this. She was kind of showing interest and just being really weird today, so.
To begin your spell, start by making a poem or chant you're going to say during the ritual on paper. Make a circle with candles for your ritual, yet be safe and don't do it anywhere there is carpet or flammables. Light the candles now or after, then make a pure space by cleansing the room with sage. This time around, I will not be summoning my deities, but rather the familiar. What I like to do each time is acknowledge the 4 elements, start from east all the way to north, starting with air, fire, water, and earth. I already cleansed the room, but now it's time to cleanse myself by meditating with Cinder. This is to be more clear-headed, and I wait upon Cinder's mark to know when we're ready. Next is my poem I wrote out that I can say out loud here.
I summon Cinder by her mundane name, as of Clydesdale, her familiar, Clyde by short. Name to set paw into the realms, join my side and help reveal thee.
After that, burn the white candle and burn the note. Be careful while you're doing this, another reason not to do it near anything flammable. I added the ash to the jar of charcoal I already had. Next, I and Cinder sniffed dragon's blood, as I add it to the ash, being the dragon's blood is good for power, protection, good fortune, and it happens to work well with charcoal. To really set the spell in stone, I repeated the last bit of the chant while using my wand, just to use a little more direct use of power.
Step paw into the world and help reveal thee. Step paw into the world and help reveal thee. Step paw into the world and help reveal thee.
And lastly, I meditate, focus, send intention, manifest, whatever you like to call it, but mostly thank spiritually to end on a good note. You will notice I meditate for a while since I wait for Cinder's cue to stop. I just find it so cute, but feel free to skip it for a few seconds. And you're done. Just blow out the candles. Here's the video on how to send your familiar messages. Since the vessel was already put through the ritual, it's a more direct way to make your point across. But yes, as you just saw on the one side of the paper, I wrote a favor, starting with "Blessed be Clyde," or whatever their spiritual name is. I just asked for her to look out for our new puppy, Maui. On the back side, it's important that you write what you will give back in return. Say if it was a non-physical familiar, you could leave offerings of food in the vessel, yet in my case, I'm just promising I'd look out for her itchy feet problems. Put it in the box and make sure you have a rope with a far enough length to start making some knots. Each time you make a knot, say, "I tie power into thee," making as much knots, and say it as many times until it clicks. Once it is done, undo the knots and say "Blessed be" each time, as your point should come across. And that's really all you do. Also, update, we've had Maui, our new puppy, for a week and a half. I love him. He's a Boston Terrier, for all you Boston fans out there. And yeah, Cinder is being very protective. I thought she would be more playful with him, being who she is, yet she's almost being overly protective.
Watch, I give her a kiss. No, it's my turn. Mwah. Don't bite at me. You just won't even let me kiss you. You got my hair? Hey. Hey. There you go. I give you a kiss, you give me one. Fair enough. Baby, come here. What you doing now? The belly rub. Oh, you're such an inspiration. Look at you.